Mahaganapatim Manasa Smarami Mahadeva Mudam Shirasa Namami Mahaganapatim Manasa Smarami.
So the samatvam yoga ucyate, the background topic for this samatvam, the same, more or less, same type of response to two different types of situations caused by our activities, our actions, karmaphalas. So this karmaphalani, either done in this life, now done in this life, done some time before, or done in the previous life, if there is such a thing as karma coming down, then all these karmas create situations for me. These situations are pleasant or unpleasant. So the pleasant is called ishtam, the unpleasant is called anishta. Anishta. Ishtam, anishtam. So anything in keeping with raga is ishta. Anything against raga is anishta. Understand? And therefore dvesha also is the same. What I want to avoid is avoided, ishta. What I want to avoid is not avoided, it is anishta. So this is what we say, ishtam, anishtam, desired, not desired. So desired and disliked. So this desired and disliked, we have situations. These karmaphalas, different types of karmaphala, as they unfold, against sometimes in keeping with what do we expect, or against our expectation. So, or sometimes more than what I expect. Therefore, these are two. So, when ishta is equal and more, anishta is less and opposite. And these four types of result on the basis of our expectation are unavoidable. You cannot avoid them. And this is a fact. This is human limitation. Because to get what you want, you need to know, you must have these two qualifications. One is sarvajnaha, all-knowing you must be. If you are all-knowing, you can always avoid. There are no hidden variables. All are known variables. And therefore, so you can plan properly and get what you want. There is nothing hidden. Every accident is due to hidden variable, correct? Even a flat tire is a hidden variable. And therefore, whole life is full of hidden variables. Every headache is due to a hidden variable. Therefore, this hidden variables means it's not that sometime it comes. Every day you have the hidden variables so unfolding themselves in situations which are sometimes in your favor, sometimes against you. Thoda volume. Guptaji. So this situation is unavoidable. And for which therefore you must have, unless you have sarvajnatvam, means all knowledge you have. Not only that, mere knowledge is not enough. Sarvashaktimatvam. Suppose you know, so these days they always tell, there is going to be a cyclone. So you can move away from the coast. All the coastal people are warned. So there is going to be a cyclone. Helen, cyclone Helen is coming. So, so this time Helen, next time Matthews, understand? So they have this, the women's lib has fought for it. So you can't have only women's name. For volcanic eruptions and cyclones, you should not only use women's name, female names. You should also use male names. Why should we give names? That I want to know. But then you give them names, and then female names and male names. Rightly I feel, if you give name, both names. And they have decided how. If this time it is Helen, next time it should be Matthews. This is how they have decided. Very interesting. And this Helen is coming. So Helen is coming. Or so cyclone is coming. After coming they give the name, I think, Helen. So see the ferocity of it. And then afterwards, I don't know. So how do they decide the name, I don't know. But anyway, so this is known to us. It's a known variable. What can you do about it? Maximum you can run away from the cyclone area. So you can go to the interior, so part of the country, but you cannot take your house away. Correct? Then afterwards only pray. This is prayer. Now you understand what prayer is. To control the hidden variable. Therefore your house escaped. The next neighbor house is gone totally. The other house is gone. Somehow in between your house is escaped. Why? I never prayed. Suppose the fellow says, I never prayed, but I don't know. They were praying, they lost their houses. I never prayed, but I retained the house. That is because of previous prayer. Now understand now? Because of some previous karma, some prayer, some good karma you have got, that is why you were lucky. The other fellows, at least they have saved so many things. That is because of their prayer. So nobody, karma has got its phalam. Prayer is a karma. We have to understand this very well. Don't gloss over. Every prayer is karma and it has got its phala. Karma is which produces phalam result. And it is finite result. Correct? Because karma is finite. Phalam also is finite. We need karma phalas. And therefore, so this sarvajñatvam is not there, therefore I cannot avoid. Even if I have sarvajñatvam, sarva shaktimatvam is not there. Sarva shaktimatvam means the capacity to stop the cyclone is not there also. This is what I generally give an example. Two fellows are there in the emergency ward of the hospital. Both have got multiple fractures, and both of them are they next to each other. And then when this fellow asked him, "How did you come here?" He said, "I am a telephone. This is India, okay? I'm a telephone worker. Here also it is possible. I'm a telephone man. So what I do, lineman, they call him linesman. And I went up a tree, so just to cut one branch which was touching this telephone wire. And then the branch on which I was standing, it broke, and then I came down and I broke my lips." He was an uneducated fellow. The next one is a professor of physics. One Sunday morning, he also went up the tree because the telephone was not working. Then he came out and he saw this is touching the wire, this branch. So he thought that he could do this. So he went up the tree and he also came down. The branch broke on which he was standing, and he came down. The only difference between the two, the other fellow knew that he was coming down. He couldn't stop it. This fellow knew, I am coming down 32 feet per second. That's all the difference. So my 32 feet per second, araha, hoom. So that is all. I come down. So that knowledge he has got. That knowledge is of no use. Because same thing, next bed. Understand? And therefore, lot of things we know, but we can't do a thing about it. These seismologists or whatever, these fellows who predict the earthquake and so on. So what can they say? They only predict and tell all of you, please pack up and go. Not able to stop. And therefore, so there are a lot of things which we cannot control. Because of lack of Shakti, power, or because of lack of knowledge. An accident can be avoided if only I knew at this particular point of time, this fellow is going to occupy this place P at time T. If I only knew, I would make sure I come to that point little later T1. Correct? But I didn't know. Both the fellows want to occupy the same place at the same time. That is where, so the physics works, okay? So when two things want to occupy the same place at the same time, and it is not possible, one has to hit the other, then every impact, etc., is all studied properly. Every dent in your car, and also every hurt in your nose, etc. All these are very clearly what we call, traceable to forces and situations. We can trace them all. Understand? Every impact, it's all. This is what they do. They study all this. When they prepare this car, they study all this, how it is impacted, what happens to this. That's why they have got all this, airbag and so on. They study all this. Yeah. Some of our people, this is what the job they do. They study the impact, how it happens. So, it's a great thing. Because it's all laws. Study means law, understand. You try to understand what does what. It's so quick, we don't know, but it's all cast. Every dent is cast. If this is understood, that means for want of knowledge I cannot avoid, for want of power I cannot avoid, for want of both lot of things I cannot avoid, and therefore I am a born loser. Or I can say, you can say that I am a born loser, or you can say I am born with certain limitations, but I've been making it all the time. You can say I am a born loser, or you can say I am a winner, because every time you go out, you come back. There is no reason why you should come back, but you come back. So there's so many years you have escaped. And every time you breathe out, there is no reason why you should breathe again. But you breathe again. This is all. You are a winner. If you just look at everything, so you find you are a winner. Every time you eat, the food can go to windpipe, correct? Once it can go to windpipe, according to the experience you have, it should go to windpipe. If there is a bag that is going to come last, it is your bag, correct? It is your bag. And therefore, so if it can go to windpipe, it should go. But we have been lucky, correct? You have to say we have been lucky. We have been lucky. That is the truth. And therefore, we are winners because of some grace. You understand how all this prayer, all this, how they come into our life, how the percentage game is the basis for all that. Man wants to be in charge. Human being wants to be in charge. When the person, he wants to be in charge, but he is not in charge, he or she is not in charge. When you can't be in charge, what do? So you take help. You take help. And taking help is living intelligently. I thought over this matter for a long time, and I found out the only way of living a human life is to live intelligently. There is no other way. You need to live intelligently. If you need to live intelligently, then I asked a question to myself, what does it take to live intelligently? And the answer that I got is, seek help when you need help. Don't seek help to peel your banana. I didn't say that. We don't seek help for peeling bananas. But when we need help, we should seek help from the sources where such help would be available, might be available. Understand? That's intelligent living. And therefore, a lawyer must necessarily go to a medicine man. Medicine man in those days in African, all the tribes, they used to say medicine man. Now they're called doctor, specialists. Go to specialists. It's all medicine people. And then you talk to them, a lawyer has to be a doctor. And the doctor should always be in touch with the lawyer. Understand? So lawyer goes occasionally, doctor has to be in constant touch. Always. This is how it is now. This lawyer, to be a clean lawyer is not easy. You have to choose the law proper. Understand? You can be a clean lawyer. To be a clean lawyer is very, very difficult. You can make, and you can make it also. But you should choose. But we need help. Everybody needs help of the other. Therefore, there is no single person on this, no single organism is independent of the environment, is not independent of other organisms. We are all living a symbiotic life, depending upon each other. This is how we live. Like the redwood trees holding on to each other, no matter how long the root is, still the taproot is, still the redwood tree will not last for the height it grows. It can never last. Any small whiff of a storm will knock off the trees. It grows straight. That's not enough to stand. And for which the roots have to be where it will go. After 10 feet it is all water and slushy. So where there is no strength there, therefore the redwood trees know what to do. They all grow together, then they all hold each other. The root system of the redwood tree is shallow. And they all hold each other, they stand together, correct? They survive together. Alone, the redwood tree is gone. What I say, that this is how every individual has to seek help when one needs help. Then you should seek help where? You should knock at the right door. Understand? You should knock at the right door, not the wrong door. When you have got hepatitis or something, go to a proper person. Don't go to a naturopath. He will make sure that you are dead. When you need some intensive care treatment, Go to these ICU fellows, and therefore at least they know how to keep you going, correct? They know how to keep you going. Don't go to these massage people, etc. So it won't work. So everybody, and then when you have got some chronic problem, go to the right people. Don't go to the ICU fellows, okay? So you have to know where to seek help, when to seek help, where exactly, etc., what kind of help. It is intelligent living. From this we understand that I am limited and wanting. That is how I am born, and I have to live intelligently. So this includes also prasada buddhi. This prasada buddhi becomes so very important. The attitude of prasada comes from anything that comes from Ishvara is prasada. It is an attitude, built-in attitude. It is exactly, the attitude is something that we can appreciate. Even people who don't know this particular concept of prasada, they all have that. So suppose they go to the church, they give the wafers, they give these wafers. So these wafers when they give, so that is considered a kind of prasada it is. You can't say, so why are you giving me this small little thing? You are giving Sunday morning, why don't you give one piece of bread at least? I'm so hungry. So you can't ask. So that is not the thing. It is not bread is given. It is something else is given. It is bread. In fact, it's a stale one. Because it was made, they generally make it, these nuns make it. In the nunneries, whatever the places, they make it, and then supply to all these churches. They make some small money out of that. And it's all made last month. And it is going to be stale. And you don't ask, you say that it is stale. Why don't you, at least all right, you are giving me this, why don't you put some peanut butter on the top of it? You can't ask all that. Correct? Even though you are an American, generally you always make your choices. So, but there you accept it totally. And why? It is prasada. So the concept is there, it's not totally absent. In every culture it is there. In Jewish culture there is much more. This is called prasada. When they bless you after the marriage, they have this rice and then they throw rice on you. This is in good old Vedic tradition. So it is a blessing. May you have progeny, etc. Maybe that blessing is there. You can't fight with the fellow. Why are you throwing upon me rice? What? Do you think that I am a piece of land? What are you doing? It's blessing. You feel happy that somebody had blessed you, throwing rice on you, So that is there in all cultures. And therefore you find this prasada buddhi is not unknown. It has got to be there. In other traditions, tribal traditions, we call them tribals. In fact, the tribes think that we are tribals. So and therefore, this tribal, the word I am really allergic to. Who is tribal, I don't know. Because when I see the people eating, and the tribal eating, so-called tribal eating, I don't see any difference. That fellow also eats a crab, plain crab. He puts it in the fire and picks it up and then he eats whatever that he has got, some sauce, with that he eats. Here what? Sitting next to me, in the first class, in the flight, then what does he eat? Crab. And he has got a choice between crab and veal or eel, whatever. Do you want a crab or veal? And this fellow thinks about it. I think I will have crab. Crab is on his plate. The tribe. This fellow is a tribal, and there is nothing primitive and eating the same thing, but it's all done nicely with music. This is called civilization. In the core, at the core of it is all primitive. All that is primitive, the primitivity is there in the middle, and all around it is called civilization. That's why nothing, there is no difference. There is no civilization, he's still eating the crap. What you say, civilization, I am civilized, is a crap. Understand? There is no civilization or anything. It's all sophisticated talking. You sing the same good old some music which has nothing, and then all boom, 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 something. And then afterwards you've got a nice talk around it. Same. We find it is the same good old, we are the same as we were before. There's not much difference. Anyway, this limitation, human limitation accepted, we find that we are winners still with the help of each other, and therefore I live intelligently, accepting these things as prasada, which is there in every culture. I suppose, I do not know every culture. I have not studied every culture. But I suppose that in every culture, a similar concept must be there. Something sacred, something you don't accept, you don't reject, it is accepted gracefully. Which culture it is not there, I don't know. I assume it has got to be there in all cultures of the world. Then that is called prasada buddhi. So that can be extended, that to a particular situation, if we have that attitude, in a given condition, in a given situation, if you can have that attitude, Krishna tells here, it can be extended to all situations, correct? To all situations. For which you require a cognitive change. The cognitive change required is that it's not only in a controlled situation, you have this attitude. The change is that everything is, every result, every situation is unfolded by, is your karma, and according to the laws of Ishvara, which we call as law of karma. The law of karma of Ishvara, the law of karma which is not separate from Ishvara, unfolds what has to come, what is happening to me. Therefore, equal is prasada, more of course is a prasada, less is prasada. Opposite what? What? Prasada. So you have, but still it is prasada. Once you say prasada, it is manageable. It's manageable. After all prasada, manageable. Otherwise it is not manageable. It is not manageable. It goes on piling up, I tell you. It goes on piling, creating edges and corners and all, my God. So there is no, so the fellow becomes all incongruous personality. One lump here, one lump there, one ketchup. It's all not understandable personality. And it's because there is no attitude. Attitude comes, there is no proper attitude. This attitude is absolutely objective. It is not an attitude enforced upon you. If you have the background knowledge, attitude is consequential. It is there. So with a certain awareness, understanding, you accept it is prasada. Therefore, samatvam. Ishtanishtopapatishu nityam samacittatvam. This is called yoga. Mayi avyabhicharini bhaktihi. So these two things go together. Ishvara tells this. In the 13th chapter, Lord Krishna tells, so ishtanishtopapatishu. Ishta is something desired by you. Anishta is something that is not desired by you. I won't say what is desired is desirable. Lot of things that we desire are not desirable. Alcohol is desired but not desirable. Understand? Therefore, we are talking here, all desired are called ishta, and all that are disliked by you are anishta. In such life situations, you have both ishta and anishta, and when they unfold themselves, ishtanishtopapatishu prapteshu satsu. When they unfold themselves, then what do? You nityam samacittatvam. Nitya means sada, always. Samacittatvam. So why always? Because sometimes you are okay, but this should be more or less always you are okay. Up to that point you can grow. And as long as there is a growth possibility, and that possibility has to be actualized in order to understand Vedanta. Therefore, this attitude is very important. Understanding of Ishvara as everything is also important. Not as a source of fear. Not as a source of fear, you will punish me, etc. That kind of Ishvara we don't need. In fact, without that Ishvara, we are better off. And therefore, we don't want an Ishvara of, like someone who is a tyrant sitting there, and he is going to send me eternal hell far. So 50 years I did some here and there, a few wrong things, and for which I am given eternal hell. I say, this is not acceptable at all. In no tyrannical rule, such kind of punishment is possible. This is the theology. Eternal hell. Even though that eternal hell and all that I have analyzed, eternal hell means you can enjoy it, because there will be no change. If it changes, then it is not eternal. And therefore, if you don't change, then it can be eternal. If hell is eternal, then what? You will be just the same. Hell will not do anything to you. In fact, you will be hell. Eternal hell means you will be hell. You will be hell means that is your swarupa. Hell is your swarupa, then nobody can disturb you. Hell cannot disturb you because it is your swarupa. You will be a disturbance to others. But if it is eternal, if you by little inquiry, it becomes all pervasive. Therefore, you have got another word called hell for Brahman. Understand? Little inquiry that you require, that's all. And so this understanding of Ishvara alone can make you as one who is not only the maker and the material, the one who is manifest in the form of Ishvara. That Ishvara is to be appreciated by you in this particular manner, because when I know this one thing, let us settle here. One thing I know very well, that I am self-evident being. And if I am self-evident being, the self-evidence means the existence of the self doesn't need any other evidence except itself. And therefore, so Atma is self-existent and self-evident. Its existence is not questioned because it's self-revealing. Therefore, consciousness is exactly the meaning of I am. And everything else we have seen is dependent upon this alone, and therefore everything else is mithya. This so-called everything else is Atma Brahman. There is no everything else. But then why do you use the word everything else? Because Brahman is not any of this. And this particular B is A is not B. This particular truth reveals one thing, that Brahman is in this form. This is how Brahman is. And therefore the Jagat is not separate from Brahman, and Brahman is Atma, that is self-revealing consciousness, limitless. And therefore I look at Brahman as what? As something that is able to produce this. It is able to manifest itself in this. It is not just an ordinary manifestation, it is an intelligent manifestation. Because of my eyes and ears, when I look at them, it is all intelligent manifestation. And therefore, I see in that Brahman itself a Shakti which endows that Brahman with all knowingness and all power to manifest. So this all knowledge, all power is because of what? So there must be some addition. Any addition to Brahman is going to be what? Ontologically, any addition to Brahman is going to be mithya. Understand? Any addition to clay is what? Mithya. Whatever it is. There are many types of additions possible. This is also clay. This is also clay, I tell you. This is also clay. But little painted, made it a nice fellow. And he is a Maharaja, understand? Maharaja lost the kingdom. The Raja lost the kingdom. I tell you, he lost the kingdom. And poor fellow, he had a big war. The neighbor fellow fought him and he lost the kingdom. Lost the kingdom. Then afterwards what happened? Then the fellow samal diya. Samalo, samalo. So again the fellow came back. Again became Raja. He never say die fellow. So put this fellow this way, gone. The Raja is gone. Again he gathers himself. Hey, come on. Sometimes he needs a little push, understand? That is called giving a helping hand. And now and then we give a helping hand. Then little push is given, the fellow is very grateful and he is again off. See that?